I'm Saurabh Sengupta. There are three things in my life that keep me busy. Number one, I'm a visiting faculty at a few B schools, and my specialization in sales. And that is because I've pretty much spent my career in sales. I was the 12th member at Zomato, and I scaled up Zomato's sales team in India and then globally. I left there in 2016. After that, I've even run my own sales consulting firm for about 5 years, and now I do teaching sales full time at a couple of B schools. Apart from that, I'm also an amateur digital marketer, and I homeschool my 9-year-old son. So I was basically, at that time when I joined Zomato, a few months before that, I was struggling at my job. I had joined a consulting firm. I wasn't liking it, and as luck would have it, I met Dipinder, and he asked me to join as the city head of Zomato Mumbai. I was the first employee there. So I built, Zomato's content and sales team from scratch in Mumbai, and then for 1 year at Pune, and then came to Delhi, and then sort of scaled the sales organization in India. So it was very exciting. It is the most memorable sort of role that I have done in my life. Nothing even comes close to it. Sure. So Simar, my courses are at 3 levels. I will explain you level by level what I teach. Level 1 of my course is, you can name it whichever way you want, but it's basically to help students who have never sold anything in their life before become comfortable with sales and develop individual sales skills. It's like saying, मुझे सेल्स से बहुत डर लगता है, बट नहीं, अब मुझे सेल्स से नहीं डरना है, because I'm entering into the world of business, of entrepreneurship, right? If you fear sales, you're not going to be able to do a good job at your firm or at the venture that you start with. So it's to overcome the fear of selling and to do well in sales as an individual. So that's level 1. Level 2 of the course is where you develop some proficiency in selling individually. Maybe you've sold before, you want to become better at it, great. But then it goes a step beyond that and tells you how do you succeed in a sales role. For example, if you were to get hired as an account manager or a business development executive at one of these big multinational firms, or for that matter, a big funded startup, right? How will you handle your job? How will you do well in your job for the first 1 year, for the first 2 years, 3 years, and make a career out of it, right? So that is what level 2 of the course deals with. And level 3 of the course, which is rare and which is also offered in corporates, is about how to manage a large sales setup where managerial aspect starts coming in. It could be not necessarily large, it could be a small team of 10 people, but it could also be a large multi-layered, multi-geography team, right? And typically a modern sales startup, a product which has tech involved in it. I'm not talking about the FMCG firms of the past, no. I'm talking about modern day startups which are heavily tech focused, have typically an app, a website, a lot of their sales are done online. So those kind of companies, how do you manage a large multi-layer, multi-geography team? So these are the 3 levels of courses that I offer. The person, we took the example of this company called, if I remember correctly, Plum Insurance, right? Now on the top of it, it looks like an insurance company, but it's not. It's an insurance company plus, right? They've got their own app, they provide insurance services. Now it looks like a boring company from the outside, but very exciting when you look at what they're doing. Very modern, disruptive insurance like anything. So what I do is I become, let's say, the HR of a top, a multinational company, for example, a Walmart in India. I will become the HR head of that company. Now, you as a student will have to first understand Plum Insurance's product, and then we will do a mock role play of the actual situation where you're in front of me and having a conversation, educating me about what are Plum Insurance's services and products. And I, as an HR of Walmart, will ask you pertinent questions related to that. And let's see whether you can answer those or not. Right? Similarly, we can take up any company of choice, whether students want it, whether I want it, I can pick up anything. And you can become the buyer, and then you role play. It doesn't end there. At the end of the role play, you get a live feedback, not just from me, but from the observers, which are the other students from the class. The good thing about this live feedback is it helps you become a better person because everything is real. None of this is from a book. It is not from any sort of American B school prescribed book. You have to follow X, Y, Z. No, everything is live, everything is real, and so you recall it. It makes a consciousness change inside you. And what my students have told me is, sir, immediately after the class, मेरे को ना समझ में आ गया ये 2 चीज़ नहीं करना चाहिए था मेरे को, या ये 4 चीज़ करना चाहिए था. So it's real, it's instant, and it's impactful. मेरे कोर्स में टिपिकली मैं हमेशा फर्स्ट सेशन में, इरिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ व्हाट कोर्स आई टेक, आई टीच समथिंग कॉल्ड द थ्योरी ऑफ बाइंग सिग्नल्स. बाइंग सिग्नल्स का मतलब है आपको कैसा पता चलेगा कि कोई मेरे प्रोडक्ट या सर्विस में इंटरेस्टेड है. आप सारा सेल सीख लोगे बट आपको समझ में ही नहीं आ रहा कि सामने वाले को कैसा लग रहा है मेरी बात सुन के, राइट. सो मैं सबसे पहले बाइंग सिग्नल सिखाता हूँ. और दूसरी चीज़ जो मैं शुरू में सिखाता हूँ, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड द थ्योरी ऑफ अ सेल्स फनल. फनल होता क्या है? सेल्स पाइपलाइन भी बोला जाता है उसको. व्हाट इज सेल्स पाइपलाइन? वंस दीज 2 बेसिक्स आर टॉट टू पीपल, ये थोड़ा सा थ्योरेटिकल होता है. उसके बाद हम स्टार्ट करते हैं विद दीज बेसिक्स एक्चुअली अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि एक कंपनी में प्रोडक्ट को कैसे समझे व्हेन यू हैव टू गो आउट देयर एंड सेल इट. ऑल्सो सेलिंग का मतलब क्या है? डज सेलिंग मीन कि खड़े होके अपनी बकवास करो, कुछ भी बोली जाओ और सामने वाले को तो सुनना ही सुनना है? ऐसा तो होता नहीं रियल लाइफ में. इफ़ यू गो एंड जस्ट टॉक इन फ्रंट ऑफ बायर्स, दे आर गोइंग टू रिजेक्ट यू. People are very afraid of sellers nowadays. They are being sold to a lot. एक तरीके का ना सेल्स फैटिग सेट इन हो गया है. अरे यार मुझे मत बेच, जहाँ जाओ वहाँ लोग बेच रहे हैं, मॉल्स में जाओ वहाँ बेच रहे हैं, राइट. फ़ोन कॉल आ रहे हैं आपको, 3-3 4-4 स्पैम कॉल्स दिन के आ रहे हैं, कईयों को ज़्यादा आते हैं. सो लोगों में सेल्स फैटिग सेट इन हो गया है. इस पैटर्न को आप कैसे ब्रेक करोगे, ये हम क्लास में डिस्कस करते हैं. हाउ डू यू गो फ्रॉम बीइंग अ पुशी सेलर टू बिकम समबडी हु इज़ अट्रैक्टिंग बायर्स वाया योर पुल. और वही सारी चीज़ें मैं कोर्स में पढ़ाता हूँ. आप किस तरह से राइट क्वेश्चंस करोगे लोगों को, आप सुनोगे कैसे, सुनने के बाद फर्दर क्वेश्चंस कैसे करोगे, आंसर्स किस तरह से होने चाहिए, उसमें एग्जांपल्स क्या दें. अच्छा, आपको ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं मिलेगा, इसमें मतलब थोड़े में आपको बहुत इम्पैक्ट क्रिएट करना है, वो कैसे क्रिएट करें, ये सब चीज़ें मैं क्लास में सिखाता हूँ. तो वहाँ पर क्या होता है कि when people hear that and then they are supposed to come onto the middle of the class and do the actual role play with me with the same concepts they learned. तो उसमें क्या होता है, वो मोमेंट ऑफ ट्रूथ बन जाता है कि अब पढ़ तो लिया, अब मुझे वो चीज़ करनी है. उसमें टिपिकली ये होता है कि 1 2 3 ट्रायल्स के बाद स्टूडेंट स्टार्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि ओ दिस इज़ वेयर आई एम मेसिंग अप, ओ दिस इज़ वेयर आई शुड हैव आस्क्ड अ क्वेश्चन एंड नॉट जस्ट ब्लैबर्ड ऑन. You see, this is how I should have done a negotiation. Negotiation, very important part of a sales conversation, right? And next steps, how to do follow-ups, right? How not to be pestering and irritating. These are very, very small things. In the modern day, this is the reality. Sales has changed. It is no longer कि अरे आपको तो बहुत बोलना आता है, आपको इंग्लिश बहुत अच्छी आती है तो आप तो बेच पाओगे. No, it's not going to happen that way. This is 2025. Sales has changed and we need to change our approach, and that is exactly what I teach in my class. And most of my class is crowdsource. Crowdsource समझते हो आप? स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी में क्राउड सोर्सिंग होती है. सारे के सारे जोक्स क्राउड सोर्स होते हैं. मेरे यहाँ सारा के सारा कंटेंट, आधे से ज़्यादा कंटेंट एक्चुअली क्राउड सोर्स होता है. तो क्लास को जो सेंस होता है वही क्लास में पढ़ाया जाता है. सी आई एंटर्ड and I'll tell you something which I saw. I'll not go into too much of detail, but first thing I saw is I saw your classroom. Your classroom is nothing similar to whatever I have seen. I teach at 4-5 B schools, and this is very, very different, and it kind of is a symbolic of the way you guys are trying to do things, which is breaking the pattern of a typical B school, which is learning by doing, by building, and then also by pitching. Right? Pitching is very important. आपने सब build कर दिया but you're not pitching, then does not make sense. Ultimately, we have to pitch. That is a real part of our life. So that vibe clearly comes out symbolically from your classroom. It's exciting for me as a sales faculty to see that someone is building the first B school which is specializing in sales. So for me, that is a very it's a kick in that sense, and I'm really looking forward to being part of this entire journey.